Happy Saturday, everybody. It is a rainy day here in Los Angeles. So I'm on my way to a DMV appointment, and so it's kind of a ways. So I figured I would make a little video. And it's about it's about people who keep saying they have faith in God, you know, and it's like, and they really believe this. And I was talking to a friend, and he had called me. He was like, "Oh my God, do you know there's pandemonium right now?" And I'm like, yeah. It's like the stores, like the shelves are empty, and I'm like, yeah. He's like, "Did you know this was going on?" I'm like, yeah. He's like, I didn't know. And so he was like kind of panicked. He's like, "What are we gonna do?" You know? And I was like, I said, well, there's nothing you can do. I said, just have faith. I have faith that the Creator will make sure that all my needs are taken care of. And he said, well, I have faith too. I go, well, no, you really don't. He goes, yes, I do. He wanted to argue. He wanted to argue it down. So I was like, no. I go, are you listening to yourself? He goes, I have faith in God. He goes, but you don't know what other people are going to do. You can't control them. And I'm like, well, that's why you have faith. He goes, but I have faith. I go, no, you don't. I go, are you listening to what you're saying? If you have faith, then you wouldn't panic. You wouldn't worry, because you would have faith that the Creator is going to take care of all of your needs. And he goes, well, I do, but you just can't control other people. I have faith in God, but you just can't control other people and what they're going to do. Like, people are crazy. And I'm like, yeah, they are. But if you have faith that the Creator will protect you and make sure that all of your needs are met, then there's no need to worry, because you know that the Creator is doing what the Creator needs to do. And he kept going on and on. I said, look, if you believe all the things that you say, which clearly you don't, but if you believe that the Creator is more powerful, is the all-powerful, is the most high, and the Creator has the power to do anything within its universe, there's nothing to worry about. So that means the Creator will protect you from the people who are wanting to harm. The Creator will make sure that your needs are met. I said, you don't know, you could walk into the store and everything's empty, and someone finds a box of something that you need, and in that moment puts it on the shelf as you're walking down the aisle. That's divine intervention right there. That's the law of attraction. That's God responding to your needs. That's God responding to your desires to be taken care of. But that can only happen if you have faith in the Creator to do that. So I was just, I just thought it was interesting, because people keep saying they have faith, but it's impossible to have faith if you have worry. If you have worry, you don't have faith. That's point blank period. If you worry, if you panic, you do not have faith in the Creator to take care of your needs. Now, as I said before, you have to participate in some way, shape, or form in whatever it is that you're asking for. You have to participate. So yes, the Creator will make a path for you, but you must walk that path. Meaning, if you just give up and you don't go to the grocery store, you say, oh, it's no point, people are blah, 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 then you can't meet the blessing that's waiting for you. I was in the grocery store yesterday after work. All I wanted was some bananas, some guacamole, and some pico de gallo, some salsa. And that's all I went in for. That's all I got. And this lady had her dog food, one potato, and 2 Tampico orange juice things. Now, mind you, this store the shelves were really bare. The refrigerator department was bare. There was barely anything left in there. All the milk was gone. There were maybe 5 things of eggs. There were no onions. I didn't even look at the potatoes. So there is a possibility that this lady had taken the last of whatever there was there. And the Creator allowed her to have that blessing, but because of her looking at the line, because the line was long. Now, the line wasn't too long. I mean, it did reach the back of the store. But to me, that wasn't long compared to other stores where they're so over capacity. They're, staggering people in and out. So I'm like, okay, maybe somebody did need the dog food. Now, maybe somebody did need the Tampico or the 1 potato or whatever. But she had it. She had it, and she chose not to take it. So therefore, it was left for someone else to take. And the thing is, that was, since when you reject a blessing, The blessing is there for someone else to take. If you have something, it's for you. If you reject that which is given to you, it's going to be given to someone else. That's just the way that it works. So the Creator is always providing a way, and the Creator knows that someone is going to reject something and leave something behind for someone else to get. It's like one man's trash is another man's treasure. And that's just the way it works. So I would suggest to just have faith. Keep doing what you're doing, but don't do it in panic. Don't do it in worry. Just live your life. Hey, if you want to go somewhere and get something, then feel how that feels. For some of you, you can't feel because you're in panic mode and all you feel is your worry and your panic. So obviously this feeling thing isn't going to work for you because your true feelings and emotions are being overpowered by the emotions and feelings of panic and worry. So of course you can't see clearly because it's blocked by the fear. The fear is creating feelings of panic and worry. Instead of your feelings, or instead of the fear not being there and you being able to feel what is actually present. Because fear is something that's self-created. It's not part of love, it's not part of truth, and it's not part of the universe. It's something that you are creating on your own. The universe is just sustaining that because that's what you want to feel. So, let me see, where do I go? San Bernardino. It says San Bernardino. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say. I didn't want to make this video too long. I'm coming up on my destination pretty soon, but really, people, you're saying you have faith, but you don't have faith. You cannot have faith if you're worried. You cannot have faith if you're panicked. You cannot have faith if you're spreading fear because you... Oh. Is it? Am I getting off San Bernardino? I think so. This bitch behind me. San Bernardino, yeah. So, just kind of pay attention to what you're doing. Listen to what you're saying, because if you actually listen to what you're saying, you'll figure out a lot of your problems. Because you'll see that what you're saying actually doesn't make any sense. You have the wherewithal to understand and to know whether or not you make sense or not. So if you actually listen to yourself, you would see that, oh my gosh, I'm not even making any sense. I'm just talking. Believing what I say, not looking at what I'm saying, not paying attention to what I'm saying. Therefore, I can't see what I'm saying. Therefore, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't see the chaos that I'm causing myself. I don't see the worry. I don't see the panic. They just don't see it. 3.9 miles? Where is this place? So yeah, just, kind of be mindful of that stuff. This is not the time to be in panic mode. There's no time, this really isn't the time to be in worry mode. It doesn't solve anything. It really keeps you from seeing things clearly. But the whole faith in God thing, you may want to take a look at that, because a lot of you claim it, but you don't have it. And that's evident by you being panicked and worried, running out and hoarding everything. Demons are showing themselves. People say, well, I'm not a demon. I care about people. But when you go and stockpile toilet paper and hand sanitizer and you don't allow anybody else to have it, or you buy it all up because you want to sell it at a higher rate to make a profit, oh, you are showing the demon people. You are showing yourself as you truly are. Like, that's what's happening in the moment. In the moment, you have people who are showing themselves, showing their true soul condition. People who are fearful, who are envious that other people have. They panic. They want to make sure they have, so they don't give a damn about anybody else because somebody else doesn't give a damn about them. But understand, these are just demons interacting with demons, feeding off of demons. Dark energy feeding off of dark energy. A demon has dark energy, and it is interacting with other dark energies. Those who don't carry dark energy are not interacting with these people. They're not in alignment with these people. They're not acting like these people. They're just not these people. And so you can see who they are. There are people who are like, there's no need to panic. I know how to take care of myself. But understand, a demon doesn't know how to take care of itself. How? You can't harm somebody and love yourself at the same time. You can't care about someone else and not care about yourself. It's impossible. If you don't care about somebody else, you are already not caring about yourself. That's how you look. It's easy to identify who these people are. Just sit back and watch. Watch your family members, watch your friends, watch yourself. People who will hear this and they're they're panicked and worried. They're calling me all kinds of names. You don't know what you're talking about. The blah, 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 blah. But they're saying it in anger. They're yelling it. They're feeling it. They're projecting anger. They're projecting hatred. They want bad things to happen. They want me to get the coronavirus. Like, child, please. It's so clear to see. And this is a good time right now. This is a really good time to take inventory of what is what. Who people really are in this moment. And that's it. That is it, people. It's check this out. The people who you see acting in this the people acting like they don't have any sense, they're animalistic, they're not caring. Is it this street? 400 feet? I think it is. You see people not caring. Look, understand these are the same people who are going to be in the spirit world when they die, but you kind of have an idea of where they're going to be. Because if they're willing to do this now, they're willing to do it anywhere. And that means it's within their soul. And that means the universe is going to place them in a location where that is the norm. That is the norm. And you kind of have an idea as to, I was supposed to turn there maybe. No, here. You kind of have an idea as to where they're going to end up. You have an idea as to where you're going to end up. Uh-huh. Pay attention, people. Pay attention. All right, everybody. You guys have a wonderful Saturday if you can, wherever you are. Hopefully you have enough toilet paper, or you're smart enough to have bought up a day. My plan was to buy one of those at Costco because I saw it the other day, and I was like, pass it up. But maybe I shouldn't have passed it up. Oh, well. You see, it was presented before me. It was even on sale. I think it was like $50 or something, regular 100 and something. So it was like half price. It was a really good deal. But if you can find one, get one. You know, then you don't ever have to worry about toilet paper. Some people have it. A friend of mine text messaged me or messaged me this morning on Facebook. He goes, I got a bidet. He goes, so he's not even worried about it. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, when the opportunities present itself, take it. And if you don't take it, it's going to be left for someone else. So when I saw the bidet, you know, on the end cap at Costco, and I saw the price, I could have grabbed it in that moment, but I didn't. So it was left for someone else. And that's what I'm saying. When you see a blessing in front of you and you don't take it, if you're not on that wavelength, then, you know, you'll pass it up and you'll leave it for someone else, and someone else will get it, you know. And that's just the way that it works. And sometimes you don't even need it. Sometimes you see something, you think you need it, you don't need it, and then, now let's see this line. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. Because it was worse before. It was a lot. I mean, before, when I came last time, that line was wrapped around the back of the building and the side of the building. So, anyway, let me do this. You guys have a wonderful Saturday, and I'll talk to you guys later. All right, bye now. Hey, everybody. I'm sorry, but this, I didn't upload the other video yet, so I'm adding it to this one. But it has to do with what I was talking about earlier. How I was talking about faith, and, you know, no matter what, the Creator will make sure that your needs are met. But beyond that, if you have faith, not only will your needs get met, but your wants too. And so today, I didn't have anything to do after I went to the DMV. And so I was like, you know, I know there's like all this panic and stuff going on at all the stores. And this morning I went to Costco before I even went to the DMV, and the line was astronomically long, zigzagging through the entire parking lot. And so, you know, I was like, well, let me just go to, I think I went to Walmart first. I was like, because I've been craving some dark chocolate peanut M&Ms, and Walmart is basically the only place that carries it. So I was like, okay, let's go to, you know, Walmart and see what they have. And that's what was on my mind the entire, or I should say, that's what my perspective was the entire time. I thought, my feeling was, let me just go into Walmart and see what they have. I don't know what they have. People are taking everything. People are buying everything. So let's just see. So I go in there, and first I go to where the bath tissue is. That's all gone. There was some water there, paper plates and stuff like that. And then I went over to, I wanted ice trays. That's what it was. I wanted an ice tray, but I wanted a specific ice tray because I'm picky like that. It's an ice tray that has like a rubber top, so you can put it in sideways because my freezer's really full. So I don't drink the water from my refrigerator. I drink the water from my Berkey. So I wanted an ice tray so I can make my own ice from my Berkey water rather than the refrigerator's ice maker. So anyway, I went over there. They didn't have it, and I was like, "Oh, I forgot, my M&Ms." So they had my M&Ms, and I walked through the store just to see what else they had in the grocery area, and they didn't have any potatoes or anything, and I was craving potatoes. I was like, "Oh, I would like to have some potatoes. I have beans and stuff. If the stores are completely empty of food, it would be nice to have some potatoes." But they didn't have any regular potatoes. But then I kept walking, and they had a slew of sweet potatoes. Now, I would rather have a sweet potato than a russet potato. So I was like, oh, wow, these are actually more of my speed. This is more of my desire than the regular potato. So they had big, nice, sweet potatoes. So I grabbed some of those, and they had some bananas that were really green. And I just bought some yellow ones. So I was like, oh, this is great because they're not ready to eat yet. So I can eat the yellow ones. So everything was working perfectly. So I got the things that I needed, or that I wanted, actually, not even needed, but I wanted, and I was like, okay, I'm done with that. So then I went over to Target because it was kind of like next door, and I was like, okay, let's go to Target and see what they have, and they had some things that I could use. Like I already have, like what is it? I keep forgetting, like not antibacterial, but I think it's antibacterial, like kitchen cleaner, stuff like that. So they had some Mr. Clean. They only had 2 of them left. And I was like, oh, let me grab one. I didn't want to grab 2 because I didn't want to be greedy. I wanted to, I'm seeing everyone buying everything up. And it's like, you don't have to do that. Just buy what you need, what's going to sustain you until things get back on track and you'll be good. So I grabbed one. I grabbed some dishwashing liquid and the kind that I like all these shelves were empty, people. They were empty. But they had the Mayer's brand, and I guess it's too expensive for people. People don't really buy. I think it's Mayer or Meyer. I don't know how do you pronounce it. But anyway, that's the kind of dish, liquid that I buy. So it was there, and then they had the same brand of cleaner that wasn't, antibacterial kind of stuff. So I bought that because that's what I use on a normal, regular basis. And it had 20% off. So I'm like, sure, all the stuff that I use was present. That's my point. All the stuff that I use was present. The same brand of cleaner, both the antibacterial one and the other one, the things that I use. All the other stuff, gone. So, and all this time, and I'm so happy. I'm happy it's raining. I'm going on these different places. I just like being out in the rain. So I was just feeling good, no matter what, from this morning. And so I kept it going. And so I called a coworker. I can't remember why. Oh, because she's at home today. So she's liking all this stuff on my Facebook. So I just called her up. And, she said she needs my help with something. So I called her. And then we were just talking the entire time as I was driving to all these different stores. And so I ended up at Trader Joe's. And I was like, oh, let me go to Trader Joe's and see what they have. I was like, okay, so I go to Trader Joe's. And meanwhile, my coworker's still on the phone with me. And I walk in, and the shelves were basically like Target. They were all empty. People were just buying up all the pastas. There's no pasta left, no canned anything left. Just like salad dressings and olive oils and things like that. That's basically what was on the shelf. And then, I went around the bin and I saw the peanut butter. I was like, oh, I need peanut butter at home. I don't have any peanut butter. And when I said that, my coworker was like, oh, she goes, I meant to pick up peanut butter, but I couldn't get into the store because the lines were wrapped around both grocery stores she went to. And so she wasn't able to go to the store and buy anything. So she said, can you grab me one? And, and I'll pay you on Monday when I see you at work. I said, sure, no problem. So I asked her what kind she wanted. She said, oh, I want just the kind you spread, not the chunky. I said, okay. And she goes, ooh, jelly. Do they have jelly too? I said, sure. What kind you want? She said, grape. I go, well, they don't have grape. They have raspberry and strawberry. I'll take strawberry, you know. So she got that. And so I kept going. I said, ooh, I need eggs. She goes, oh, can you grab me some too? I was like, well, what kind you want? My kind or the kind, you know, I buy the pasture raised ones, and, which are the brown ones. She goes, I don't care. I go, well, do you want the brown ones or do you want the regular cheap white ones? She goes, give me the cheap white ones. So I said, okay, I'll get the cheap white ones. And so I got that for her. And so I'm walking, I was like, wow, this, you know, I walked to the freezer area, like where the frozen stuff is, and it is empty, people. I took pictures, so I'll post the pictures so you can see, like, Trader Joe's had nothing. I mean nothing. But what they did have were all the things that I eat. There's these frozen, it's kind of like grains and vegetables mixed together, and I love these things because it's a quick, simple meal that has, you know, carbohydrates and vegetables in it. So I was like, these are perfect, but it's what I personally purchase on a regular basis from Trader Joe's, and those are basically the only things that are left. And there's like there's two kinds. There's like 6 or 7 of one and maybe 5 of another, and they were right next to one another, and they were just sitting there, and I just walked up to it, and I was like, oh, I like these are, you know, the things that I enjoy. So I grabbed, you know, 3 bags of one and 2 bags of another. And she said, what are you getting? Because she heard me. I was like, oh, wow, they have these things that I like. She goes, I want to try it. So then I said, well, what do you want? You want one of each? She goes, yeah, give me one of each. So I grabbed her one of each, you know, and I left some there. I always make sure I leave something behind. Like, I never want to be that person that is so inconsiderate and, you know, of other people. There's other people, you know, and honestly, I have a freezer full of food. I have a pantry and a half full of food. You know, I have more than enough. But, you know, I was just going to see what they had. And the thing is, they had the things that I enjoy, the things that I like. And I just felt the universe just like not answering my prayers because I was in prayer, but understand a desire is a prayer. But I was just open. I had faith that I was going to be taken care of no matter what. So then, you know, I kept walking through the thing, and I said, oh, I need tea. I was going to go to Walmart and get some tea, but I totally forgot. But they had, you know, non-cap or not decaf or non-caffeinated tea, and that's what I wanted because for some reason, I've been drinking tea lately at night, and I have a lot of caffeine teas at home. So I was like, oh, I need to pick up some non-caffeine teas, and they were right there. You know, they had a lot of those, and I was able to pick whichever ones I wanted, you know. I have tons of chili at home, you know, like backup canned chili, but I didn't have any like Fritos. I like eating Fritos with them, but they had organic corn chips. I'm like, oh, let me get a couple of bags of these to go with all my cans of chili that I have, you know. It's like everything was just falling into place, you know. It was so easy. I saw some I said, oh, you would like these. I was talking to my coworker. I was like, oh, you would like these, but I can't have it because it's like a seafood stew. And I used to eat it before I became allergic to shellfish. So I know it's really good, and she loves seafood. So I was like, do you want to try one? She goes, yeah, give me one of those. And so, you know, I got her one of those. And, you know, and she was like, oh, can you see if they have tuna? And so I looked. They didn't have any tuna. But I told her, hey, look, I bought a whole bunch of that stuff when I was at Costco before all this stuff, you know, started popping off with people hoarding stuff. So I can, you know, she said, I need 2 cans. I said, so I'll give you a couple of cans of mine. She said, oh, okay, no problem, you know. So, you know, it's like everything was falling into place. I did not go in looking for anything that I bought, but I end up walking out with everything that I usually buy. And this is what's so amazing. Out of all these people who are going into these stores, out of everything that's missing or all the things that are left, the things that I wanted were there at that particular Trader Joe's that I went to. And I wasn't in a panic. I wasn't in a rush. I was taking my time, enjoying myself, going into the stores. I didn't have any agenda, and I totally benefited from being calm. I totally benefited from having faith that the Creator's going to take care of me no matter what. No matter what. And so I was, as I was on the phone with my, my coworker, and I was sitting in front of the freezer, where it's really empty. And I said, and in front of me were cookies. And I said, hey, you want some cookies? And she's like, ooh, yeah. I said, well, what do you want? She goes, what do they have? And I look up, and I used to buy these almond chocolate chip cookies, and everyone loves them at work. And so I used to buy like 2 or 3 of them because I used to go through them a lot. And so she loves these cookies. So she used to tell me every time, if you ever go to Trader Joe's and, pick up some of those cookies for me. So I was like, okay, so I knew she liked them. And so I looked up, and I said, guess what? She goes, what? I said, those cookies you like, the almond chocolate? She goes, yeah. I go, there's one left. Do you want it? She goes, yeah, get it for me. So it's like everything literally was falling into place. I got what I wanted. She got what she wanted. And I think when I was walking out of Trader Joe's, I said this to her. I said, you were okay yesterday when you went to the store and the lines were so long and you couldn't buy anything. You were okay with that, right? She goes, I sure was. Like, she didn't have any panic. She wasn't upset or angry that she couldn't get anything from the store. Like, she literally accepted that she wasn't going to get whatever she was going to get. She accepted it and just felt okay with not having it. And the universe responded to her and saying, hey, since you don't have any resistance to it and you're okay, I'm going to make it possible for you to have what you wanted, what you desired. I'm going to make sure that happens. And that's exactly what happened. The universe, and this is the way the creator created the universe. If there is a soul that is willing to do God's work, God will use that soul to do his work or her work, however you want to look at it. If God's will is to grant someone something, God will use a soul who is a willing, cooperative component to do that. So whatever God's will is, it will be done. But God will use a soul that is in alignment to do that. Someone who is selfish will not do that. There are people who would say, I don't have time to go to the store for you and do all this stuff, and I gotta look out for my family. I can't look out for yours. You gotta look out for yourself. There are people like that. But if I'm open and loving enough to help someone, because this person she can't just get up and go wherever she wants all the time. It takes a lot of work. There's some issues there, physically, where she's just not able to move around like I am. I'm able to move around. So God is able to use me in order to fulfill her desire. And it was easy, she was like, I'll just get it from you at work. But then I was thinking about it. I was like, you know what? I can take it to her Monday morning, but how is this frozen stuff gonna, stay, while she's at work all day, So I decided to take everything to her tonight. So I did, I got in my car. She didn't know I was bringing it, but I knew she was in her pajamas, so I knew she wasn't going anywhere. And so I showed up with it, and she was so happy and excited to get it, and most excited to see me. She was like, oh my gosh, Bradley, I'm so excited to see you. And I even made her a cheesecake. I bought some cheesecake from Costco before, all this mayhem started. Well, not that long ago, maybe last week. I bought a whole cheesecake, and I shouldn't be eating the whole thing by myself, but I did her a cheesecake, and I'll show you a picture of it. And she was so excited because she saw the one I had. Posted the other day, and she said, "Oh my God, that looks so good." So I made her one and took it to her. And like, today was a really good day, and I'm so happy and grateful that the Creator took care of all of my needs, not just my needs, all the things that I regularly I should just say this: my life has not been disrupted, not one iota, since this whole coronavirus kicked off. Not one. It's just been that smooth and that easy. That smooth and that easy. It's a beautiful thing, people. It is an absolutely beautiful thing. So I encourage people to have faith in the Creator, It is real. It does yield results. It yields all kinds of results. And it's people, it happens. I mean, you want your blessings to come effortlessly. You don't want to have to work for everything. I told you before in my videos, I don't believe in hard work. I do not believe in hard work. I believe in life participation, but I don't believe in hard work. I don't believe you should have to work hard for something. And if you have to work hard for something, there's a block. There's something you have to address, or something you must address, so that you can change your experience, so that you can change the way you manifest things. You want things to manifest effortlessly for you. You don't want to have to make it. You don't want to have to force it. Some people believe you have to work hard. And that's fine if you believe that, but you really don't. You really don't have to work hard. You can if you want to, but you really don't have to. You really don't. I was supposed to go to the bank. I have been driving around. Look, they say, you need to stop doing that. Okay, even this Smart and Final looks busy. It's never this busy. What in the world? Even their shelves, I know, their shelves are going to be empty too. You know, I'm just going to park over here away from everybody. Hopefully I don't get mugged in the dark. Look, I'm not trying to call that to me. But anyway, what's this? Why is it closing? Gosh. Oh, for peek's sake, though. What was I saying? Some people, you know, like I was saying about, you know, working hard. Some people believe they have to work hard, and that's the only way they get things in life, because that's their belief. This is all about beliefs, people. All about beliefs. It's what you believe. Some people believe they have to work hard in order to have things in life, and so they run themselves into the ground. You can see it in their faces. They just work and work and work. Some people believe that you have to present as if you work hard in order to support yourself and your family. Some people believe that you have to, you know, really overextend yourself until you're so tired and can't move anymore. And that's what people live for, because it looks like they're contributing to their family or themselves. And I don't believe that. I believe in loving yourself. I believe in taking care of yourself. I believe in enjoying life. I believe in the reason why God put us here, which is to enjoy life, to be happy and joyous. That's what I believe. So I don't believe in any experience where you have to live in stress and live in worry and panic. And this is where people are right now. Just look around. People are off the chain with this stuff right now. And you don't have to do that. You know, look, people are panicking. They're going to the stores, but there's Amazon. Hello, Amazon. You can get next day delivery. You know, there's AliExpress. There's all these different, you know, types of. I wanted to go to Bed Bath & Beyond. I forgot, because I know they have my ice trays. I know people are not panicking and buying up all the ice trays. That would be a shame if they did. Woo wee. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say. I wanted to share the blessings. I wanted to share what faith yields, you know. And of course, this didn't. It just didn't happen for me. It happened for me to share with you. It happened so that I can share my experience with you. So, you know, I've said it before, you know, God is very efficient and effective, and is, I don't want to say frugal, but he is a God who is able to do many things with one action. Many things. So, you know, people are going to hear this. People are going to feel this. People are going to think about this. And it was my experience. My experience. And it can be your experience. But it's hard for people. It's difficult for some people to have faith when they don't know what that is, or they don't know anyone who experiences that. Because that is the case sometimes. Especially depending on who you surround yourself by. If you're surrounded by people who are like you, and you don't have faith, and you're not looking at the results of what faith, or the results of faith, or having faith, if you don't see that, it's kind of hard to believe it. But when something happened. But when you what was that popped up on my screen? It's still recording. Okay. But when you are, it's kind of like success. If you're surrounded by people who are doing nothing with their lives, it's kind of hard to get into gear. But when you're surrounded by people who want things in their life, who are doing things for themselves, who are being successful, who are building a successful business, you then start to see that it is possible. And so that's why I share my videos and I share my life, because despite what you've gone through, you know, you're able to get out of it. That's why I share some of the hardships that I've encountered in my life, because I haven't shared, well, it depends on how what your perspective is, but I have been in a dark place before. No, I haven't been on drugs or anything like that, but I've been in a depressed state before. I've been in a place where I felt like it didn't matter what I did. My life was always going to be crap. It was always going to be miserable. Now, I probably didn't say it in those words, but I felt those feelings before. And I even mentioned to my coworker, I said, you know, I was so thankful today. And I said, you know, God is really blessing me, and he's blessing you and use me to bless you, you know, so that you get your needs met. And she was so grateful and thankful. She goes, yes, I know, you know, this is all God's doing, and it is God's doing. And it sounds corny to people who don't understand it. It sounds ridiculous to people who don't understand it or have never experienced it. And that's okay, because it used to sound the same way to me. So I know it sounds like that to some of you. And I know it's like, and for some of you, because what I said to her was, you know, there used to be a time when I wouldn't even mention God. And she said, I know it. So back like say around 2009, 10, 11, and 12, you would not dare. I mean, you wouldn't hear me say God at all. Like, I wouldn't dare say that. That's something I would never say. That word would never come out of my mind. I mean, out of my mouth, ever. Because I wasn't there. Because that's where I was in my life. Like, I couldn't even, God, I didn't believe in God because of all this shit that has happened to me. And that really goes for a lot of people. They really don't believe that God exists or God is what God is because of all the stuff that has happened in their life and the things that are happening in people's lives all across the globe. Just take the coronavirus, for instance. People are damning God and saying there's no God, or God doesn't care, isn't loving, because people are getting sick and dying. But you know, and I've talked about that before, like we create that stuff ourselves. But for the people who don't know that, they're blaming God. They're either blaming God, or they're saying there isn't any God. There can't be a God. Or God is unloving, one or the other. But so I understand where people are. But all I can say is I was wrong when I was younger. I did not know what I know now. And I lived my life in ignorance. But now that I have some truth, and I accepted the truth, my life has completely changed. So that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to say that. So, who's that? Oh, she's grabbing carts. All right, so have a great one, everybody, and I'll talk to you guys later. All right, bye now.